Cayuga Community College Telecommunications Department presents Cayuga Spartan Football. As the Cayuga Spartans host the Cortland State JV Red Dragons in the Spartans regular season finale. The 8-2 NCAA Junior College Section 3 champions Cayuga Spartans come into tonight's contest against the Cortland State Red Dragons JV team, riding a 5-game win streak and looking for a postseason bowl bid. The Spartans' offense has been led by the Northeast Football Conference Offensive Player of the Year, tailback Marco Burke, whose 1,151 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground has him ranked third in the nation among junior colleges. The Spartans' offensive attack has also been impressive in the air with a combination of all-conference honorable mention quarterback number 9 Don Wright and wideout Daryl Clark. Clark leads the Spartans in receiving with 19 catches for 495 yards for an average of 26 yards per catch and 7 touchdowns. In his second year as Spartan quarterback, Wright has had a solid season, throwing for 836 yards and 10 touchdowns. Wright has also been impressive running the option, shown here against Alfred State on one of his 3 rushing touchdowns of the season. The ferocious Spartans defense ranks 10th in the nation among junior colleges behind a strong linebacking core. Second team all-conference linebacker number 12 Prentice Jones has proven to be a force against the run, leading the Spartans with 79 tackles and registering 7 sacks on the season. Honorable mention linebacker number 52 Larry Jones has also put up big numbers for the Spartans with 64 tackles and 3.5 sacks on the season while inheriting the leadership role.
The Spartans have been on a tear as of late, and they've won the NCAA Junior College Section 3 championships. The Spartans currently find themselves just outside the top 15 of the nationwide polls and are currently on the bubble of getting into a bowl game.
The Spartans' offense has been led by tailback Marco Burke, who yesterday was named Offensive Player of the Year of the Northeast Football Conference.
Burke has had an unbelievable season, rushing for 1,151 yards and 12 touchdowns on the season. Spartan fullback Marcus Brooks has done an excellent job blocking for Burke. Then it was named to the second team. The quarterback Don Wright, who threw 10 touchdown passes, was named honorable mention.
The Spartans' defense has also been impressive this season, with 5 players being named to the all-conference team.
Yes, James Cecil and Steven Panetta had strong defensive seasons and were named to the first team. Defensive tackle Tahid McCoy and leading tackler linebacker Prentice Jones were named to the second team, while fellow linebacker Larry Jones was named honorable mention.
For the Spartans to finish their season at 9-2 and possibly make a bowl game, they cannot overlook tonight's opponents, the Cortland State JVs, whose record is 4-2. The kickoff is coming up after this message.
It's my birthday! Oh, it's so pretty! Oh, I told you! Don't be bringing that weak stuff in here! Yeah! Who's the man? Who's the man?
Exercised lately?
Cayuga Community College presents Cayuga Spartan Football. as the Cayuga Spartans host the Cortland State JV Red Dragons in the Spartans regular season finale. Welcome back to Holland Stadium in Auburn, New York. We're just about set for kickoff between the Cayuga Spartans and the Cortland State JV Red Dragons. The Spartans come into tonight's contest with a record of 8-2, looking for win number 9 tonight against the Cortland State JVs, who are currently 4-2 on the season. As we said earlier, Marco Burke was named Offensive Player of the Year in the Northeast Football Conference yesterday. Also making the team on the second team was fullback Marcus Brooks and quarterback Don Wright, who was named honorable mention. On defense, the Cayuga Spartans leading tackler Prentice Jones made second team. Linebacker Larry Jones made honorable mention. And Stephen Pineda and James Cecil, who have had strong seasons, named first team. Right now the Cayuga Spartans are being honored. Don Wright, number 9, Chris Brooks, number 8, Daryl Clark, number 3, safety Bill Jadlowski, and number 12, Prentice Jones. And number 15, Todd Freelove. Freelove was also named to the all-conference team, is both a kicker and a punter. The Spartans sophomores are being honored. They're going to go through the whole team. The players on the field are in their second season as the Spartans. If the Spartans do not make a bowl bid, this will be their last game dressing up and playing on Holland Stadium.
This team had a real good career here at Cayuga. Spartans, linebackers Larry Jones, Steve Panetta, Tahita McCoy, and all the rest of this team. It's really sad, though, that last year they have forfeited games.
James Cecil being honored right now. As we said, he was named first team in the conference. And Larry Jones, number 52, gets a big ovation from the crowd.
Larry Jones is a real fan favorite here.
And here comes the anchor of the offensive line, sophomore number 60, Jeremy Ferrugia. Defensive tackle number 61, Mike Norman, being honored, the graduate from Lansing High School. Norman has had a strong season as a starting defensive tackle with 24 tackles on the season, 3 sacks, and 2 fumble recoveries. Now being honored, number 64, Tahita McCoy. Tahita, also a sophomore, in his last game as a Spartan. He's registered 33 tackles on the season and 2.5 sacks.
Number 78, Stephen Panetta, just joined the rest of his sophomore class out on the field.
And number 94, Charles Hanold, being honored. And that is the Spartans sophomores on the field in their last game at Holland Stadium. As we mentioned in the pregame, the Spartans opponents tonight, the Cortland State Red Dragons JVs, are 4-2 on the season. And if the Spartans are going to have any chance of making a postseason bowl bid, if they're going to make a bowl bid, they definitely cannot overlook tonight's game. Tonight's opponents, the Cortland JVs.
Sorry, Chuck, this is a real important game, as you mentioned, for Cayuga Spartans.
And tonight's weather, the temperature is 35 degrees. It's a pretty good night here at Holland Stadium in mid-November. And as we were saying earlier, Marco Burke, the tailback for the Spartans, named Offensive Player of the Year yesterday on the all-conference team. Marco's really put up huge numbers this season.
That is 2 And Marco Brick ran for 1,151 yards with 12 touchdowns, leading the Spartans in rushing yards and touchdowns.
Also at running back, Burke's fullback Marcus Brooks was named second team all-conference. Brooks had 31 carries on the season for 222 yards, an average of 7 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. And now we pause for our country's national anthem. And we are just about set for kickoff here at Holland Stadium. The Spartans are pumped and ready to go. As we said, the Spartans are 8-2 on the season, their best record in their 3-year franchise history. And these guys are really pumped up tonight, Marcus.
They are really pumped up, raising their helmets on the field the last few seconds of the national anthem. Down there, the captains of the team, Stephen Panetta, quarterback Don Wright, shouting out words of encouragement for this sophomore and this freshman team right here. And they really want to make this bowl game, and they don't want to lose their last home game of their career.
Indeed. One of the things that's gotten the Spartans to this point in their season is the strong defense. This seems that the Spartans have had all year. And leading the Spartans in tackles is Prentice Jones, who sat out last week's game due to a coach's decision, but he still has had a huge season for the Spartans. Jones on the season leads the Spartans in tackles with 79 tackles on the season, 59 of those assisted, and 20 all by himself with 7 tackles and a fumble recovery. And he's really had an all-around good season.
Big PJ Prentice Jones has really been the key to the Spartans' defense, but defense, as you said, has really been the key to the Spartans' success all year long.
And the Spartan captains, as well as the captains from Cortland, come out to the field. The captains for the Spartans are Larry Jones, number 60, Jeremy Ferrugia, number 3, Daryl Clark, and number 9, Don Wright. The captains for the Red Dragons are number 7, Sean Fay, the quarterback, number 33, Anthony Buxbaum, number 55, Victor Chapia, and number 95, Sean Forthhover. I'm sorry, that's number 91, Dan Purtell, the defensive lineman, sophomore, 6'0", 220 from Binghamton. All 4 of the captain's starters are sophomores, and being in a 2-year college will be their last game here at Holland Stadium, and will not return as the Spartans, but they've definitely anchored this team.
They've done a great job anchoring this team with only 2 losses this season, 2 tough losses. but they bounced back and won the NCAA Junior College Section 3 championship. And they want to get this bowl game.
And the Red Dragons. The Red Dragons will receive today's officials: referee Bernie Andrews, umpire David Goodwin, linesman Peter Henschel, lines judge Fred Dewey, back judge James Sheenan, and field judge Joe Desane. And the Spartans will kick off to start tonight's contest here at Holland Stadium. The kicker for the Spartans is number 15, Todd Freelove. Freelove in his second year as the Spartans kicker. He was named all-conference, second team as kicker, and an honorable mention as punter. And the Spartans line up for the kickoff. And there's a close look at number 15, Todd Freelove. He's had a good season for punting and kicking, the workhorse of the special teams. He's 2 for 6 on field goals, almost got a 51-yarder earlier in the season, just a few feet short against SUNY Canton. And Freelove is getting set to kick this one off, and we're ready to get started here at Holland Stadium as we're live in Auburn, New York. The Cayuga Spartans wrapping up their season against the Cortland State Red Dragons JV team, who's 4-2 on the season. And we're set to get things going. Freelove lines up. Some of the upmen, Zach Cobb out there for the Spartans, Dave Gillespie. And here we go. Here's the kick. Line driving is taken by the upback, or by the returnman, up to the 30-yard line. He has the seam in the middle, breaks the tackle and brought down at the 35-yard line on the return. Number 24, Dan Bidwell, brought down by a host of Spartan defenders.
That was good special teams play right there. He broke that one tackle, but there was just white jerseys all over the place, and just got taken down immediately after he broke that tackle.
And we're going to take a replay, a special look at the return.
Number 24, picking up the ball, Dan Bidwell. We see him break the tackle, but right there, number 38 on the tackle.
And it's 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Cortland State Red Dragons. The quarterback, Fay, hands it off to the fullback, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Charles Hanold, and help from Travis Mulnickle.
He wasn't really going anywhere on that play right there, Chuck. The Spartans defense is just too tough to run on. Travis Mulnickle, a tremendous linebacker, has done a lot for this team as a freshman.
A loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12 from the 33-yard line for Cortland. The Spartans line up. Larry Jones at linebacker, and number 12, Prentice Jones. Single back formation, number 28, LaFaley. Fumble on the play, number 2. And he recovers it. A flag is on the play, however.
The quarterback had nowhere to go with that ball, just threw it out to number 2, who fumbled that.
94.
And the foul looks to be against the Spartans. And is an offsides against number 94, Charles Hanold. Despite their success, the Spartans have had some problems getting hit with penalties.
Penalties really hurt you, offensively, defensively, even on special teams.
And it's going to be a 2nd and 7 rather than 2nd and 12 for Cortland, as they line up at the 38-yard line just in the opening moments of the first quarter. And it looks like the Spartans are going to be called on another encroachment. Offsides with a hard count by Fay, drawing off the linebackers.
Number 12, linebacker Prentice Jones, second team all-conference, anticipated, jumped over the line and got the...
And we're going to take a replay, and indeed it shows that Prentice Jones was offsides for the Spartans' defense. And instead of a 2nd and 12, Cortland now has a 2nd and 2 from their 43-yard line, as the Spartans' defense has been a little bit shaky with the penalties here. 2 offsides in a row. Handoff to the tailback, heads forward for a 1st down, brought down at the 48-yard line. It will be a 1st and 10 for Cortland.
Number 28, tailback, Peterson LaFale, the freshman, 5'6", 170 out of Brooklyn. Just kept his legs going and pushed his way up through the hole made by his big offensive lineman. That's really important when you run the ball, just keep your legs pumping.
1st and 10 for Cortland as they approach midfield at their own 48-yard line. 13:44 to go in the opening moments in the first quarter. Still no score. 1st and 10 for Cortland. Fay, handoff to the tailback. LaFale again lunges forward for a gain of about 5 yards and brought down by all-conference first-teamer Stephen Pineda.
Peterson again going up right through the middle in between the guard and the center. Quarterback hands off the ball to him. Cuts, goes right up the middle, keeps his legs pumping, and almost broke that tackle by number 78 before he was pulled down.
A gain of 5 by LaFale, the tailback from Brooklyn, and it's 2nd and 5 at the 47 of Cayuga now for the Red Dragons. I formation. Fay, fake handoff, drops back the pass, fires, it's complete, and brought down immediately. It's complete to the intended receiver, number 85, Jeffrey Glod, and indeed it's going to be just short of a first down. Brought down by, I believe, number 35, James Cecil.
The wide receiver there, number 85, Jeffrey Glod. As soon as he catches that pass, you can see here in the instant replay, he had nowhere to go because he was right. James Cecil was right there on the tackle.
3rd down and 2 for Cortland at the 44 of Cayuga. Roll out by Fay, fires down the sideline, and it's complete and brought down. Shoestring tackle by Bill Jadlowski, complete once again to Jeffrey Glad. Big rollout play by Fay, and it's going to be a first down.
Dwayne Ravizzi just looks like he could have made a touchdown saving tackle right there. And early on in the game, looks like number 85, Jeffrey Glad, the junior from Waterville, the tight end, looks like he could be the primary receiver on this offense early in the game.
1st and 10 is an impressive Cortland Red Dragon drive. Has him a 1st and 10 at the 29. Handoff again to LaFale, and he lunges forward for a gain of about 7. Brought down by Dwayne Ravizzi.
Again, the tailback, number 28, Peterson LaFale, going up the middle. Goes right up the middle. Big, huge hole made by his offensive line. And when you have the safeties and the cornerbacks making the tackles, that's not really what you want. You want your defensive linemen and the linebackers making the tackles.
A gain of 7. Sorry, Marcus. A gain of 7 by LaFale. 2nd 3 at the 22 now of Cayuga. Spartans defense has had a hard time with the run and pass combination of Cortland. 2nd 3, pitch to LaFale. Mulnickel right there, great jersey tackle by Travis Mulnickel, but there is a flag on the play.
It looked to me like number 94 kind of jumped off sides, but number 47, Travis Mulnickel, high school friend of mine, tremendous upper body strength, grabbed him by the shoulder pads and jersey and threw him back down. That tailback was going nowhere.
And indeed an encroachment against the Spartans. Let's take another look at it here.
It was either 78 right there, big Stephen Pineda, the 2nd team all-conference defensive lineman, busted through, but got caught with the penalty.
A 1st and 10 for Cortland. Now at the 16-yard line of Cayuga. Fay at the helm, the sophomore from Highland. And a wide receiver screen is complete to number 14. Jukes and jives, and he's hit by the Spartan defender after a short gain. Completed to the receiver, John Kadich. And we have another, sorry Marcus, we have another penalty on the play, and let's take a look at it here.
Number 78, Stephen Pineda, I believe one offside. Number 94, those defensive linemen are just anticipating too much and need to go on motion and movement more than noise. Crowd has to pump them up here, that way the offensive lineman and the center and the quarterback can't hear the count.
That's the 3rd encroachment call against the Spartans defense. It is 1st and 10 now. Handoff to LaFale, up the middle, breaks it to this 5, and he's brought down. Brought down by Jadlowski and Mulnickel. And it looks like it's going to be close to a first down.
The Cortland Red Dragons are just pushing the ball, running it, tough runs, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards up the middle. The offensive linemen are just throwing the Spartans' defensive linemen off the way. Control of the line of scrimmage is really important in a football game, especially if you want to use a running game.
And that hard run by LaFale has got him a first and goal from the 6-yard line on the opening drive of the game by Cortland. 10:09 and counting here in the first quarter. First and goal at the 6. Fay drops back the pass. He's got to get rid of it. Fires. It's intercepted in the end zone. Dwayne Revisi heads up the sidelines. He's at the 35. He cuts it to the 40. Breaks the tackle. He's still going. Cuts it. And Dwayne Revisi brought down at the 42-yard line. All the way into Cortland territory. Big play by the strong safety, number 7, Dwayne Revisi.
As soon as Revisi caught that ball, he just took off from the end zone. And he was really going places. Great blocks thrown all over the place upfield, bringing him about 60 yards on that interception return.
And we're going to take a replay, take a look at that unbelievable play by the strong safety, number 7, Dwayne Revisi.
Here's he picks off the ball. Hard block by number 12, breaks the tackle. Number 52, Larry Jones with a block. Number 13 making a couple blocks. And right there he gets tackled by...
And here's a handoff to Seth Thomas, breaks it outside. He's at the 40-yard line, brought down after a gain of about 8. Brought down by linebacker Victor Chapia.
Spartans right here giving the Cortland Red Dragons a taste of their medicine right here. Put a little bit of running right there by number 23. Seth Thomas cuts it up, brings it outside, gets tackled by number 51.
A gain of, we'll call it 9 by Seth Thomas, number 23. I formation with Thomas and Brooks. And a handoff to Marcus Brooks, the second-team conference player. Puts it upfield, and it's going to be close to a first down.
It was 2nd and 2 in that situation right there. They're going to give it to Marco Burke. Like Chuck said, the conference player of the year. That was Marcus Brooks, my bad. Marcus Brooks, the big fullback, just bringing it up the middle, making it 3rd and 1. And want to get that first down right here on their first drive at offense in the game.
A big 3rd and 1 for the Spartans offense after the huge interception in the end zone by Revisi. 3rd and 1 at the 32-yard line. And here's fake handoff, right, fires. He's looking for Clark in the end zone. Jump ball, incomplete, good defense by number 24, Dan Bidwell. As he tipped it at the last second, Clark went up for it but couldn't come down.
That was great defense right there. That was a great play by the Spartans, going with the play action fake right here. As you see down right, his team at the line, fakes it to both running backs, brings it out, throws a nice pass. There's a nice pass to his prime receiver, Darryl Clark. But it was great defensive play by number 24.
4th and 1. Don Wright decides to go with the keeper, and he lunges forward, and he fumbles it. Wright had the first down, but he fumbled it, and it will be Cortland State JVs. We're going to take a look at that 4th and inches. Good call by Namasak to go for it.
Don Wright, all he had to do was cover the ball with the 3 points and just duck his head. But that's kind of tough right there when your quarterback going through those big defensive linemen. They just knocked it right away. That was a good defensive play. And that was also a smart call by Tom Namasak.
And indeed, the ball jarred loose, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for Cortland at their own 30-yard line. Cortland was impressive on the first drive after the interception in the end zone by Revisi. 1st and 10 at the 30. Handoff to the tailback, LaFale. He's brought down, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Larry Jones as well as Travis Mulnickel on the tackle.
Two of the 3 tremendous linebackers that have led this Cayuga Spartans football team all season long, just zeroing in on the ball, and I believe there's a penalty.
Indeed, a penalty face masking call against the Spartans defense.
See right here, the quarterback taking the ball, giving it to number 28, but he's brought down by number 12, number 47, and number 94. Spartan defenders just all over him, getting wise to their games.
And with the loss on the run, it's going to be a 1st and 7 for Cortland. Fay drops back the pass, fires it for the running back. Good coverage by Ravizzi. Out of the reach of the intended receiver, the tight end, Jeffrey Clyde.
Number 7, the free safety, Dwayne Ravizzi was all over him right there.
And we're going to take a look at the offensive line at Cortland. Tight end Jeffrey Glad just couldn't come up with that one. And the offensive backs, Brian Bass, Peter LaFale, Matt Quay, Mark Frinder, and quarterback Sean Fay. 2nd and 7 for Cortland State, as the Red Dragons are on their own 33-yard line, 7:58 to go. In the first quarter, no score. Fay drops back the pass, fires on the sideline, intercepted again. It looks like Cecil, he heads down the sidelines. He's only got one to beat, cuts it upfield. Touchdown Spartans! James Cecil, the all-conference first-teamer, proves his point with a huge interception right there, putting the Spartans up 6-0.
Number 35, James Cecil, as Chuck said, the all-conference quarterback, and that's why he's all-conference, picking out that interception, running that back for the Spartans, who drew first blood in this game, are now up 6-0 with
How about the
7:40 seconds
defensive
left.
backs? Let's take a look at this one. James Cecil in action, returning it for a touchdown.
Takes it up the field. Great blocking right there again. Everyone knows what to do as he runs it in, untouched into the end zone.
And Todd Freelove comes in to attempt the extra point. The holder is backup quarterback Jeff Siegel. And here's the snap, but there is a flag on the play. The kick would have standed, but we do have an infraction.
Penalties and flags being thrown all over the field. The opening quarter of this big game here for the Spartans.
And
Penalties
a
can
false
kill.
start.
Penalties can kill a football team. They can kill a drive. And that one right there was against
the
Cortland.
Spartans.
Oh, it was against the Spartans.
Indeed. False start.
Not good on an extra point attempt.
That's going to put Freelove back 5 yards, but that shouldn't be a problem for the all-conference kicker. This guy's got one heck of a leg on him, and he's going to try to put the Spartans up 7-0 after the interception. And we got a fake one. Siegel rolls out. He's in trouble here. Miscommunications, and he's brought down at the 20-yard line by number 94 defensive lineman Eric Lido. So it's 6-0 Spartans, and we're going to take a look here.
Tom Namastack throwing little trickery plays in here.
We're going to take a replay of Cecil's interception for a touchdown that has just put the Spartans up 6-0.
He grabs the ball, turns on the accelerators. He's going up. Number 78, a big block right there, number 28. Cuts it inside, and he goes in the end zone untouched. There was no one around him that would have took him down. He drops the ball in celebration for the Spartans' first touchdown of the game.
The Cayuga Spartan defensive backs playing a huge role in this one so far at Holland Stadium. On the first drive, the Cortland Red Dragons were first and goal at the 6-yard line, and strong safety Dwayne Ravizzi came up with an interception. And just now, James Cecil returns one all the way for a score to put the Spartans up 6-0 in the first quarter. 7:46, Spartans lead at 6-0, and Freelove's getting ready to kick off. The returners for the Red Dragons are Dan Whitwell, and it's 6-0 Cayuga with 7:46 to go in the first quarter. And here's the kick by Freelove, taking it at the 18-yard line by Dan Cable, heads it down the sidelines, flag on a play, and he's brought out of bounds at the 30-yard line, where Cortland will take over 1st and 10.
Another flag flown through by the officials. They're just throwing flags left and right here in this opening quarter. Maybe we can see why that flag was thrown. Here we see on the replay right here, Freelove coming up to kick the ball. Nice high kick by one Todd Freelove. Taken by number 21. Cuts up a big block by 24. Cuts back.
1st and 10 for Cortland at the 30-yard line. Handoff to LaFale. Cuts it outside. He's got some room to the 35. Gets by and brought down from behind at the 39 by Travis Molnickel and free safety Bill Jadlowski.
Number 2, Tyrone Abbey tried for a shoestring tackle. As Peterson just leaped right over, as you see here in the replay. Peterson LaFale, the freshman, cutting up the field. He's got some great speed on him. Here you see number 2 come up in your screen for a shoelace tackle, jumps over him, but he's taken down by 3 Spartan defenders.
And indeed, it is a 1st and 10 for LaFale and the Cortland Red Dragons. LaFale gets the call again, but this time he's going nowhere. Prentice Jones gets him from the feet, brings him down, maybe a gain of a half a yard, 2nd and long for the Red Dragons.
Peter looks to be the workhorse of this Cortland Red Dragons offense. He's really been carrying the load so far, but it's really demoralizing to a young quarterback like that, throwing 2 interceptions, one for about 60 yards and one for a touchdown in the opening quarter of a big game like this. But he's only a freshman, and he's going to develop.
Indeed, 2nd and 10 for Cortland at their own 40-yard line. They trail at 6-0 with 6:25 and counting. Fay drops back to pass, rolls out, it's complete. The intended receiver, number 2.
We don't have his name.
And it is indeed going to be short of a 1st down. It's going to be 3rd and about 3. There's Tyrone Abney, who's on the coverage. And the Cayuga defensive line, Mike Norman, number 61, 1st teamer Stephen Pineda, 2nd team all-conference tackle Daheed McCoy, and defensive end Omar Bailey.
Now, for finishing off the Spartans' defense lead, their defensive backs, quarterback James Cecil, linebacker Larry Jones, Prentice Jones, and Travis Municle.
3rd and 4 for Cortland. Fay drops back to pass. He's got to get rid of it complete on the wide receiver screen. The Eels, and he lunges forward for a 1st down. Good play by Fay. The Eels, 1st and 10 inside Cayuga. Spartan territory at the 45.
Bullet pass got him with the 1st down right there. The run wasn't working. Now they're switching to the pass.
Inside the Spartan territory for their 2nd time today. 1st and 10 at the 45. And we're going to take one more look at the linebackers. Larry Jones.
And as their defensive backs, James Cecil, Bill Jadlowski, Dwayne Ravizzi, and Tyrone Abney.
Hand off to LaFale, cuts it the other way, and he's brought down after a gain of about 4 by Travis Mulnickel. And strong safety, Dwayne Ravizzi, who had the interception earlier.
Number 28, Peter LaFrey, looks to, like I said, the real workhorse of this team, taking the ball again and going what worked for them early on, going right up the middle before being hit by the Spartan defenders. Daheed McCoy, the defensive tackle.
And a gain of 3 by LaFale, and it's going to be 2nd and 7 at the Cayuga Spartans' 42-yard line for Cortland. 5 minutes to go. Pitch to LaFale, cuts it back inside, gets to the line of scrimmage, a gain of about 2 yards until he's met by Charles Hanold, the defensive tackle. A short gain by LaFale, bringing up 3rd and 6 for Cortland.
This is why they're almost number 15th in the nationwide polls. Those Spartan defenders, especially that linebacking crew, just have a nose for the ball, and they just get there right on time to make that tackle.
3rd and 6, a big 3rd and 6 for Cortland here on the 41 of Cayuga. 4 receivers, no tight ends. LaFale, the single, almost were intercepted again by Ravizzi, in and out of his hands, and it's going to be 4th down, and we would imagine that Cortland's going to be forced to punt.
The 4th and 6 on the 41-yard line. You don't want to give the Spartans that good of field position. Here's number 7 dropping back to pass. Penetration by number 78, Stephen Pineda. And number 7 almost intercepted that ball. That would have been the 2nd interception of the day.
And Cortland pulling out the Spartans a little late getting to the line. Indeed, Cortland will punt it. Justin Webb lines up at his 10-yard line to return for Cayuga. And here's the punt. It's a fake. And it's incomplete to the intended receiver, number 18, Mike Reeves. Larry Jones read that as well. It looked a little tricky on the setup. A big call by the Cortland Red Dragons by head coach Ray Leslie, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Cayuga.
The coaches here making a lot of gutsy plays. It's the 3rd time we've seen a quarterback sneak by the Spartans. An extra point fake, and right there a punt fake. The coaches trying to use as many tricks as they can in their book to win this game.
You never know. On the 13th of Friday the 13th at Holland Stadium, the Spartans lead at 6-0. and they got a 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Good field position after the fake punt. And the officials are officially set to get things going here. 4:19 to go in the first quarter. Spartans lead it on an interception by an interception return for a touchdown by James Cecil. And here's the handoff to Brooks up the middle, launches forward for a gain of a couple, and he's brought down by the free safety, Eric Klump.
We mentioned how Marcus Brooks, excuse me, earlier on was all second team, all conference. Did a great job blocking for Marco, but right there just pushes his way up the middle, gets 4 yards on carry.
Indeed, a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. There's Don Wright, the sophomore quarterback, playing his last game at Holland Stadium, and he's got a 2nd and 6 from his own 45-yard line. Option play, he's been successful on it, but he loses it, and it looks like the Spartans have recovered it. Second time the ball's been jarred loose out of the hands of quarterback Don Wright, but it looks like the Spartans have got it this time.
Don Wright at the snap, bringing him out. Looks like he's going to hand it off. Cuts right up the field, tucks it, but he only had it with one hand. Forward was being knocked out by number 94, excuse me, the defensive end, Eric Leto. Talk so much about the Spartans defense where they already scored the first touchdown. But this Spartan offense, when they're going, are really potent.
They're going to have to get going right now as they got a 3rd and 2. They actually made a couple yards on the fumble. 3rd and 2 from their own 49-yard line. And here's the handoff to Seth Thomas. He cuts it up field, hit from behind, and he looks like it's going to be inches short of a 1st down. Brought down by linebacker number 59, Andy Henniger.
Don Wright bringing his team up to the line, handing it off to the tailback, number 23. Just blowing his way, getting the 1st down.
And indeed, it was a 1st and 10. I thought it was a little short, but a good spot by the officials. So Thomas picks up the 1st down. Wright drops back to pass, fires down the sidelines deep for Justin Webb, and just overthrows him. Valiant effort by number 36, Justin Webb, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Spartans.
I saw number 36 warming up today right before the game when we were out hanging out on the field, and he looked pretty pumped about this game, and he was just a few inches short, catching that ball, and
he really extended for the dive.
Yeah, he really did. He dove out for that one.
But it will be a 2nd and 10 for the Spartans at the 48-yard line of Cortland. I formation with Seth Thomas and Marcus Brooks. Wright sets him at the line. 2 receivers. Here's the pitch to Seth Thomas. He's got a little bit of room, but he gets a gain of a couple, brought down by linebacker Robert Guzzo. And it's going to be 3rd and a long 8 for Cayuga.
Here you see the defensive backs for Cortland, cornerback Anthony Buxom, and Mike Allen's strong safety Dan Bidwell, and free safety Dan Cable, number 21. The linebacker Ryan Calkins, Dan Hollander, number 40, and Victor Chabot, number 55.
3rd and 8 for Cayuga at the 47-yard line. Handoff up the middle to Brooks, and he's met immediately in the backfield by linebacker number 45, Ryan Calkins, the freshman from Greenhurst. And Todd Freelove and the Spartans are going to be forced to punt here with 1:40 and counting in the first quarter. They handed it off to Brooks, but he was met by the Cortland linebacker, number 45, Ryan Calkins.
Number 45 just broke through and made the big play right there, stopping the Spartans on the 3rd and 7.
And Freelove set to kick. Here's the snap. He's got plenty of time off the side of his foot. Very uncharacteristic of Freelove. And Cortland is going to have a 1st and 10 at their 30-yard line after the kick went off the side of the foot of Freelove, and that's where Cortland will take over 1st and 10.
Todd Freelove, tremendous kicker, the workhorse, the workman of the special teams, kicking field goals, extra points, punting. Scores 6-0 here with 1:08 left in the game that could decide if the Spartans are going to a bowl game or not. the defense, tough defense is set on the field now.
First and 10 for Cortland at their own 30. There's a look at Fay. He drops back to pass, fires over the middle. Incomplete for the intended receiver, number 2. Good coverage on the play by Zyreek Norris and Dwayne Ravizzi.
See the linebackers and the defensive linemen in there getting penetration. And that number 2, he almost caught that ball, but if he did, he would have been taken out immediately by the white jerseyed Spartan defense.
Second and 10 for Cortland, 1:04 to go in the first quarter. Spartans lead at 6-0 on James Cecil, cornerback for the Spartans. Interception returned for a touchdown. Big play by the first team all-conference cornerback for Cayuga. Second and 10 for Cortland. Fay rolls out to the left, fires it to number 2, complete. At the 35, launches forward, and he's met by a host of Spartans. Good second effort, and he's stopped after a gain of 7 yards.
The wide receiver right there, as soon as he caught that ball, spun off the defender and broke that tackle, looked to make some more yardage. 38 seconds and counting remaining in this game.
And it's going to be 3rd and a long 4 for the Cortland Red Dragons. They go I formation with LaFale tailback. He's had success on the run. Fay drops back the pass. He's got to get rid of it. Prentice Jones complete to LaFale on the screen pass. Heads up down the sidelines, and he's met by the defensive back. Not before he gets a first down. Big screen pass. Fay gets it to LaFale. 1st and 10 for Cortland.
He got the first down right here. You see the quarterback dropping out. He indeed get the first down, but number 7, strong safety, Dwayne Ravizzi, made him pay for that and hit him like a Mack truck.
And that's going to do it for the first quarter here at Holland Stadium in Auburn, New York. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Cortland, but at the end of 1, it's 6-0 Spartans. They lead this one on James Cecil, interception, return for a touchdown. And it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 46 for Cortland when they take over here at Holland Stadium. Many fans out to support the Cayuga Spartans in their for the sophomores in their last home game of their professional football careers here at Holland Stadium. Well, college, you know, you got the point. It looks like the pros out here, though.
I didn't see anything. I think I seen some fans I knew out there too. I want to go down and say hello to them during halftime. It's cold out here too.
Indeed, loyal fans.
Good football weather for these guys though.
Not for the fans though. But it's gonna be a 1st and 10 for Cortland. No one's going anywhere here at Holland Stadium. We've got a close one after 1. Spartans lead at 6-0. 1st and 10 for Cortland at their own 46-yard line. Fay sets up the Red Dragons in I formation. The Spartans showing blitz, hand off to LaFale, and he heads forward, but he's hit first and brought down by Chris Burrian after a gain of about 2.
The Spartans were definitely playing run with that defense. The cornerbacks are set back. Peterson takes the ball, goes up the middle, and just trips over one of the Spartan defenders.
And a 2nd and 9 for Cortland. Another handoff to LaFale, and he's met in the backfield. Excellent pursuit by the Spartans. Burrian wraps it up, but it looks like it was Prentice Jones once again with the shoestring tackle, slowing down LaFale, and it's going to be third and about 12 for the Red Dragons.
He took that ball. I'm not even sure if he got over the line a little bit. Was hit on the legs, couldn't move, and bam, in came number 52, Larry Jones.
3rd and 12. for the Red Dragons. The first 3rd and long of the day. Fake handoff. He's got to get rid of it. He fires it over the middle and batted down by Cecil once again. James Cecil comes up with a big play for the Spartans defense. And Cortland State is going to be forced to punt it with a 4th and 12 on their own 44.
Number 35 could have added the 3rd interception for the young quarterback for Cortland today. Batted that down, but it was good enough to stop the offense.
Webb set to return at his own 20-yard line. Last time Cortland had to punt it, they had to do it. They did a fake. Here's the line drive kick, and Webb looks like he's going to let this one go. Thinks about taking it, but it's down by Billy Magner, the tailback on special teams. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans at their own 17-yard line, currently nursing a 6-0 lead here with 13:34 to go before halftime.
That was a good decision not to pick that up, because he could have just got flattened by a host of the Cortland defenders. That could do some serious damage to you when you're over in that kind of bending over, trying to pick up a ball like that.
1st and 10 at the 17 for Cayuga. High formation, and Marco Burke, the Offensive Player of the Year of the Northeast Football Conference, just checks in for his first carry of the game, and he was a little excited to get that first carry in, and he's going to be called on an offsides. False starts by Marco Burke, and that's going to be a 1st and 15 for the Spartans.
Fans love Marco right here. Graduate of Nottingham High School in Syracuse. Broke a lot of records there, Dorsey Levins's records. He was pretty excited about taking that ball.
1st and 15 for the Spartans at their own 12-yard line. High formation. Burke at tailback. Swings formation by the receivers, and here's the handoff to Burke. He's to the 20, heads forward, or to the 15 rather, a gain of about 3 as he's met by number 40, Dan Hollander, the linebacker, sophomore linebacker from Lake Grove.
So the handoff right there. It goes up the middle. Big Marco Burke right there, taking a couple defenders down with him.
And he picks up 3, so Don Wright and the Spartans will be faced with a 2nd and 12 at their 15-yard line. Twins formation by the receivers, Daryl Clark and Justin Webb, with Zach Cobb and Marco Burke. Wright drops back to pass, screen pass to Burke. This has been effective all season long. Burke cuts upfield, and he's got a 1st down at the 30-yard line. Marco Burke can also get it done receiving the ball, and he's got a 1st and 10 for Cayuga.
Right there, Don Wright takes the ball. He's looking, looks left, scrambles out a little bit, knows exactly where he wants to go. His go-to man right there, Marco Burke. Some good blocking right there by number 74. Number 83, Marco gets hit hard by number 21, but he gets the damage done in getting the 1st down.
1st and 10 for the Spartans at their own 32-yard line. Coach Namasak sticks with the backfield of Zach Cobb and Marco Burke. Hand off to Burke up the middle, and he loses it. Fumble, and it looks like Cortland's ball. Indeed, turnover, fumbled by Marco Burke on only a 2nd carry of the night. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Cortland at their own 32-yard line because of this fumble right here by Marco Burke.
It was the handoff right there that really screwed that up. Marco kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, dropped it. Back in Cortland territory. Here comes Marco right there. Is the drop fumble right there. Picked up by Cortland. And now they're on Spartan territory, on the 31-yard line.
And the Spartans defense are lined up against a big task here, stopping Cortland at the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. The defenses came up big when asked to. Fay fires over middle, complete to number 3, breaks the tackle, and brought down at the 22-yard line by Larry Jones and Dwayne Ravizzi, not after a gain of about 8 yards.
Number 35, James Cecil, with the attempted tackle that he missed. As the wide receiver shook off the tackle and was tackled by 2 of the Spartan defenders. Right here, takes it, shakes it off, lost his footing. That enabled number 7 and Another Spartan defender to make the tackle.
Larry Jones. Good pursuit by the linebacker to get over on the sidelines that early to help out on the tackle. Jones has been making big plays for the Spartans defense all season long. 2nd and 2, Fay drops back the pass, fires down the sidelines. It's incomplete, intended for receiver number 10, Mark Frinder. Coverage on the play by James Cecil. Incomplete pass. This can be a big 3rd and 2 for Cortland.
I think James Cecil felt a little bit embarrassed after missing that tackle. Right up for it right there, jumping up, knocking the ball down. Number 12, Prentice Jones in the middle. The ball is up in the air. Cecil making sure he doesn't catch that pass.
It's crunch time for the Spartans defense. 3rd and 2 at their 22-yard line after the fumble. The miscommunication between Wright and Burke. The Spartans defense is going to try to hold on to their 6-0 lead. 3rd and 2 at the 22-yard line for Fay and Cortland. And Sean Fay calls a timeout for Cortland, their first timeout called so far on a 3rd and 2 from their 22-yard line. He didn't like the setup by the Spartans defense, so he calls their first timeout of the night. And a 3rd and a long 2 as Sean Fay, the sophomore quarterback from Highland, sets up. Cortland Red Dragons JV squad as they're in a 4-receiver single back with a fail to single back. Unique formation on a 3rd and 2. And here's Fay with the hard count quarterback string complete to number 2. And Mulnickel grabs him up. He's getting some help here and brought down. Big play by Mulnickel as he looks like he's going to be short of a first down.
Travis Mulnickel, number 47, the linebacker. Number 7 drops back. Knew exactly where he was going with that pass. Number 2 takes it. Mulnickel just grabs him. Makes sure he ain't going nowhere. Swings him around a couple times before he's hit by number 12, middle linebacker. Prentice Jones, team's the leading tackler and all-conference 2nd team.
And on a 4th and inches at the 21-yard line, Cortland elects to go for it. They stick with the 4-receiver single back formation, and Fay burns another timeout, the 2nd of the drive, as he was confused on the 4th and inches. As Cortland was set to go for broke, and he calls his 2nd timeout. So Cortland's got 1 left with 10:38 to go in the 2nd quarter, as the Spartans currently hold a 6-0 lead. Spartans come into tonight's contest with an 8-2 record. The NCAA Junior College Section 3 champions are currently faced with a 4th and inches as the Spartans defense needs to come up big. I formation for Cortland. 3 receivers, no tight ends. Fay sets it, drops back the pass. He rolls out, fires it, incomplete to the intended receiver, number 2, Dwayne Ravizzi on the coverage, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans.
The Spartans defense were definitely ready for that, and they did what was necessary to keep Cortland from advancing the ball any further to get a first down or a touchdown. Defense has come up strong all season long, making the big plays. As you've seen so far already, 2 interceptions, 1 about 60 yards and 1 for a touchdown.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for the Spartans offense. Zach Cobb and Marco Burke in I formation. And here's the handoff, delayed handoff to Marco Burke. Breaks 3 tackles, still lunges forward for a gain of about 1 yard. Burke usually fights 2nd and 3rd effort. He earns every one of those 1,151 yards he's had on the season, and he gains about 2 more right there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8 for Cayuga.
You see him breaking 1, 2, 3 tackles, short yardage or 2 yards on that play, but Marco was not going down with that first tackle. He's a big kid.
2nd and 8, I should say. Big man. 2nd and 8 from their own 23 for Don Wright and the Spartans. Unique formation. Here's the pitch to Burke. Cobb on the fullback, but Burke is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the linebacker, Seth Green, the freshman, 6 foot 230 from Memphis, New York, out of Jordan Elbridge High School, and that's a big play. 3rd and 10 for Cayuga.
Seth Green had a great year last year. Had a Jordan Elbridge, was on the JV squad. Great speed. Marco Burke coming out, and he just takes Marco down from behind, grabs him by his left leg and pulls him down. Seth Green's a big, powerful young kid. And he'll do a lot for the Cortland defense, but he has to do a lot today.
And a loss of one on the pitch carried by Marco Burke. 3rd and 9. Wright drops back the pass. He's got time, but now he's got to roll out. Gets Burke again with the screen. He heads upfield, breaks a tackle, keeps on going, another tackle, cuts upfield, lunges forward to the 34-yard line. Huge run by Marco Burke after the catch, and that's going to be a 1st down for Cayuga.
Generally, it's not the yards you get on the catch, it's the yards you get after the catch. Marco Burke coming out, not really looking like a lot, making a block, coming out, catches the pass, and just turns it upfield, breaks a tackle, runs a little bit out, cuts back up inside, breaks another tackle, and spins for the 1st down.
And he got the 1st down for the Spartans on the 34-yard line. Wright drops back the pass, steps up in the pocket, downfield for Daryl Clark, in and out of the hands of both Clark and the defender, and it looks like we might have a pass interference called against the defender by Cortland, number 33, cornerback Anthony Buxbaum. And this indeed looks like to be a pass interference call against Cortland.
That very well could be defensive pass interference. He was right, and it was right in front of Daryl Clark, the prime receiver for the Spartans offense.
That play might not have gotten off if Wright didn't have the presence to step up in the pocket, as there was a pursuit by the linebackers blitzing by the Red Dragons. And it's going to be a 1st and 10, a 15-yard penalty, and the Spartans all of a sudden have a 1st and 10 in midfield here with 8:31 to go before the half. The Spartans are trying to add to a 6-0 lead as Wright sets them up 1st and 10 at midfield with the combination I formation. Zach Wright drops back the pass. He's got to get rid of it. Throws it out of bounds. The nearest man to it was tight end number 83, Scott Estes, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Cayuga.
Cortland is playing tremendous defense right now, getting a penetration, getting into the backfield of the Spartans, getting right through the offensive line. You see him cut through right here, putting pressure on the quarterback down right, who has nothing else to do but throw it right to an incomplete pass.
And 2nd and 10 for the Spartans. Twins formation by the receivers, Daryl Clark, and number 88, Michael Flaherty. Drops back right, fires it, intended for Clark, but it's batted by the blitzing linebacker, number 55, Victor Chapia, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Cayuga.
Big 3rd and 10, big 2nd and 10 play right here. Downright drops back. The running backs blocking a little bit, the offensive line batted down, almost picked off by number 11. That was batted down by number 48, Seth Green. Tremendous linebacker out of Jordan Elbridge High School.
And 3rd and 10 for the Spartans after 2 incomplete passes, and it looks like the Spartans might get hit with a delay of game call.
Illegal substitution on the offense.
Illegal substitution is called against the Spartans. And it's going to be a 3rd and 15 for Cayuga at their own 35-yard line. A big 3rd and long for the Spartans.
Penalties will hurt a team and they will kill and even stop a drive. They want to try to reduce the amount of penalties that this team is having.
Justin Webb checks back in at receiver. He's gotten more and more playing time at the receiver position every game this season. And it's 3rd and 15 for the Spartans on their own 45-yard line. 3 receivers on the near side of the screen. Wright drops back the pass. Burkett blocking. He's hit immediately and is intercepted by the defender, number 23, Dan McKinney. Heads upfield and he's brought down at the 48-yard line of the Spartans. Wright was clobbered when he threw it, and we're going to take another look at it right here.
You see Wright dropping back, number 66 coming in. Marco makes the block, pumps up, throws his arm. Number 95 just smacks him. Number 95, Sean Vorhofer, the defensive lineman, right, walking off the field, looks a little shaken up after that play. And that's what getting penetration and getting into the backfield is going to do. Disrupt the offense.
First and 10 for Cortland. Excellent field position at the Spartan 47. Handoff to LaFale. Breaks one tackle, heads outside. He's rushed out of bounds after a gain of about 3 yards. Tyrone Abney pushes him out of bounds. Good second effort by LaFale on the run.
We've been hearing that name a lot. Number 28, Peter LaFale. After the fake handoff, cuts it up. Prentice Jones in pursuit. Number 78. Prentice Jones makes the tackle along with number 78 and 64 were also there to make the tackle if Prentice Jones couldn't.
2nd and 8 for the Cortland Red Dragons. I formation. 45-yard line. Fay drops back to pass. Short drop back. Fires. Incomplete to the intended receiver. Wide receiver Mark Frinder. And it's going to be a 3rd and 8 for the Red Dragons.
That was just a quick pass right there by the quarterback. Number 7, Sean Fay, sophomore. But it was an incomplete pass.
So Cortland is dealt with a 3rd and 8 with 7:56 to go in the second quarter. Currently trailing 6-0, but at the 45-yard line of the Spartans, they could quickly take the lead in this one. 3rd and 8, I formation. Fay drops back the pass. He's got to get rid of it. Maul nickel on the blitz. Fires it. Almost intercepted by Jones, but nevertheless, it's going to be a 4th and 8, and it looks like the Red Dragons are going to be forced to punt.
Number 47, Travis Mulical. Number 78, Steve Panetta. Get the good penetration right here. Like I said earlier on, penetration is going to disrupt the offense. That's exactly what they did right there. Causing the quarterback to pass, bringing up 4th and 8.
Justin Webb sets up at his own 10-yard line. And it looks like we have a delay of game penalty called on Cortland. Looks like the special teams unit might have took too much time, but there's a false start called against Cortland, so that will push him back 5 more yards. Ball rested at the Cortland 49-yard line, so Webb will move up to his 15-yard line. And Cortland will have to punt from the 49. Spartans not showing much of a rush. The snap is good. Here's the kick. Klump on the kick. Webb takes it at the 20, cuts outside, breaks the tackle, and he moves forward to the 24-yard line, but there's a flag coming in late on the play. And this one looks to be against Cortland. Illegal hands to the face against the Spartans. So the Spartans are going to be pushed back deep into their own territory as we take a replay look on the punt.
Webb takes the ball right here. You don't have a lot of time to make a lot of moves. Made the one juke. Here you see he tries doing it again, but he's going nowhere as he's taken on by a host of Cortland defenders.
The officials must have seen something you and me didn't, because I didn't see illegal hands to the face in fragment. But we're announcers and we're not the officials, and the Spartans are dealt with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Spartans haven't had good field position here in the second quarter, but they lead at 6-0. Handoff to Burke up the middle, breaks the tackle, lunges forward, and he's brought down at the 20, a gain of about 5.
Cortland defense, the defensive line right here, has been doing a tremendous job against the Spartans' big offensive line. Burke takes the ball from the tailback position. Nice block by the fullback coming up right there. As Burke just lowers his shoulder, tries spinning around, but it was tripped by number 48, Seth Green out of Jordan Alvarez High School.
Gain of 5 by Burke. So it'll be second and 5 for the Spartans at their own 19-yard line. I formation with Cobb and Burke. Burke gets it again, spins around, he's at the 25 and lunges forward. In the second effort by Marco Burke might get the Spartans a first down.
The one thing about Marco Burke right here, a real big, strong, powerful tailback right here, makes a spin. But what is most dangerous is if he breaks it out, he's got tremendous breakaway speed. If he gets out.
And it looks like we have an injured offensive lineman, Nicholas Morris. The offensive tackle by the Spartans hobbles off. Looks like he's got a problem with his knee. So in comes number 72, back up, offensive lineman Tim Ruddy, who's seen plenty of action, so he should be able to fill in good for Morris. And it's a 1st and 10 by the second effort by Burke. 1st and 10 for the Spartans at their own 26-yard line with 6:37 to go in the second. Fumble by Wright, but he still gets it to Burke, but they're going to call him with his knee on the ground. So Wright and center Francis Clark have had problems getting the snap off, and it's going to cost the Spartans. It's going to be 2nd and 11 now.
Seen a lot of fumbles in this game, and it's not sloppy play by the players. It's the cold weather that's really affecting them. When that cold ball hits your hands, that stings. That's what causes the fumbles.
And it's going to be 2nd and 11 at the 24 for Cayuga. After the bobble snap on first down, I formation with Zach Cobb and Marco Burke. Clark and Flaherty are your receivers. Here's a slant pass, pattern complete to Daryl Clark, and he lunges forward, the leading receiver for the Spartans. DC, he's got a 1st and 10 for Cayuga at their own 38-yard line.
Daryl Clark on that pattern just slanted right inside the middle, coming right into where the linebackers are. That's a deadly spot for a little wide receiver. Clark showed he's not afraid right there. Takes the hit by number 18, who misses the tackle, but he's slammed in the back by number 48, Seth Green.
And it's a 1st and 10 for the Spartans. 2 first downs on this drive that started back at their 15-yard line on the 39 now. Wright drops back the pass. He's going to go deep down the middle for Webb. He's got one step on him, but the safety comes over and breaks that one up. Incomplete pass. Good coverage by the safety, number 24, Dan Bidwell, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Spartans.
See the Spartans go deep a couple times tonight, and it hasn't worked yet. Number 9, the quarterback, Don Wright, taking his team, drops back. Good blocking right there by the offensive lineman in the backs. Fires a long pass to Justin Webb, but just cannot come down with it as he's double covered.
2nd and 10 for Cayuga at the 39-yard line. Zach Cobb and Marco Burke remain the running backs. And Wright has a problem getting a handoff to Burke, and he is leveled by the linebackers. We're going to take another look at that one. Spartans having another hard time handing off the ball here.
I think he was just hit by the fullback right there. And I don't know what play was going on. That must have been a play action for a pass. He was hit, the fullback kind of bumped into him. He dropped back, didn't hand it off to the tailback. It looked like he was looking to pass on that.
And it's going to be a 3rd and 15, a loss of 5 on the play. So the Spartans are dealt with another 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 from their own 34-yard line with 4:45 accounting to go in the first half. Wright drops back to pass, fake pumps it, fires deep, flag on the play, but he's going for Clark. Incomplete, jump ball between him and the safety, but there is a flag on the play.
Clark looks to be hurt right there as he's slow to get up.
And we're going to take another look at this one. On the 3rd and 15, Wright decides to go deep to his number 1 receiver, Daryl Clark.
Right, drop him back, a little pump fake. Got plenty of room right there.
Decline.
There was the ball up. This right here is just where athletics will take over. But it's a double coverage right there that Clark has been had it dealt with.
And the penalty was against the Spartans and was declined by Cortland, so Todd Freelove comes in to punt for Cayuga on the 4th and 15.
Daryl Clark left the field. Looks still to be a little hurt, shaken up from that last play, though.
Not good news for the Spartans. Him and Bright have been banged up here since the get-go, really. Dan Cable is set to return the punt. Here's the snap. High snap by Freelove's got it. He has got to get rid of it. He doesn't have time. He fumbles it and is recovered by Cortland at their own 20-yard line. Number 18, Mike Reeves, was there first, I believe, along with number 45, Ryan Calkins. And we're going to take another look at that one. Freelove just simply did not have the time to get it off.
I think there's a little bit of nervousness right there on the long snapper. Way too high. Freelove had to jump for that. Penetration by the special teams of Cortland. Coming there, hit Freelove. He still tried kicking it when they were coming in. He wouldn't have got that off anyway. Most likely would have been blocked. But instead,
and Cortland has an excellent opportunity to tie this one up or even take the lead as they trail at 6-0, but got a first and 10 at the Spartan 20. Fay hands it off to the tailback, number 14, John Caddick, and he's brought down after a gain of a couple. Brought down by Prentice Jones, and it's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Red Dragons.
With 4:11 and still counting here in the second quarter, Spartans up 6-0. Spartans defense opens up when they get in way back deep in their own territory. Remember the last time, that one time they were threatening on that drive, the pass was picked up, about 60 yards.
2nd and 8. Cortland, Spartans show blitz, pitch, is brought down by Prentice Jones and a bunch of defenders. The ball jarred loose. He might have been down though. The Spartans saying they've got it. I think his knee was down first. Excellent pursuit by the Spartans defense, and indeed the Cortland's going to remain ball, but they're going to be forced with a 3rd and long.
Said right here, the Spartans blitzing. They've been blitzing all game long. Coming in right there, number 61, Mike Norman, the big defensive end. Ball gets stripped. It looked like number 99 had that. There was 2 or 3 Spartan defenders right there. Looked like Justin Harris could have picked that up, but
on the fumble, it's going to be a 3rd and 15 for Cortland at the Spartan 26-yard line with 3:06 to go. We've got a dandy so far at Holland Stadium. 3rd and 16 for Cortland. Fay drops back to pass. He's got to hurry. Throws it intended for number 2, but the closest man to it was strong safety Dwayne Ravizzi. And Cortland is faced with an odd 4th and 16 decision time for Coach Ray Leslie at the 26-yard line. We're going to take another look at that effort by Cortland.
Chuck right here, the Spartans defense in crunch time in a 3rd and 16, and it looked like half the Spartans defense was rushing the quarterback. 52 Larry Jones almost got that tackle. He just threw the ball, threw it to number 2.
And it looks like Cortland's going to try for a field goal. The field goal kicker is number 23, Dan McKinney, the freshman from Middle Island. Here's the kick, and it's just short. It hits one of the pads on the field goal posts, so the Spartans escape another one there. Barely. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans at their own 26-yard line.
Field goal right there. Not high enough, not long enough. Keeps the Spartans here with their defense here with a chance to get a shutout at least through the first 2 quarters in the first half. 2:51 left as the Spartans offense is going to come on the field.
And the Spartans defense been impressive when it's been crunched deep inside their own territory. They've got a bagel so far on defense. Right, slant pass again, complete to Daryl Clark, but he fumbled that one. He might not have had control of it. He was hammered by 2 defenders. Are they going to call it incomplete, or will it be Cortland ball? Wright is hurt on the play. He's been banged up a number of times. I don't know if he had control of that one, Marcus.
Last time the ball was thrown to Daryl Clark, he was a little slow to get up. And when the punting team came on, he was really slow, kind of limping a little, getting off the field.
And the referee, sorry Marcus, the referee calls it incomplete, and we're going to take another look at that one.
The primary receiver there for the Spartans, Daryl Clark, and on that slant pass, just wailed by 2 Cortland defenders. That play right there, you can get a high percentage completion on that. As we take a look at the scoreboard, 6-0 Spartans with 2:39 left in the second half. Spartans face with the second and 10.
Daryl Clark has just exited the game. The Spartans' leading receiver apparently banged up. Wright hands it off the middle. The Bird cuts it outside. He's at the 35. He cuts down the sidelines. He's still going at the 40, 35, 30, and the last man brought him down. Number 8, Mike Allen, the quarterback. What a run by Offensive Player of the Year of the Northeast Football Conference, Marco Burke, getting the Spartans 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of Cortland.
Marco Burke, you know, when this kid gets his chance, when he gets his carries, he gets his opportunities, he's going to carry this team. He's going to put this team on his shoulders. Right there, like I was saying, he's got speed. He's got the breakaway speed. Gets out of bounds. Number 32 took the ball deep into Cortland territory.
And look who's back.
Daryl Clark is back in the game, which is good for the Spartans and bad for the Red Dragons.
1st and 10 at the 26. Handoff to Burke again. Up the middle, breaks the tackle, follows behind his lineman and surges for close to a first down on 1st down. And it's going to be just short.
That looks like it might even be a first down.
Well, we'll take another look at that one. He was brought down.
Burke right here, the triple threat. He already shown he can catch it. He can run outside. Right here, taking the handoff from quarterback down right. This offensive lineman just make a path, and he just pulls his way all the way for a 9-yard gain.
And it's going to be 2nd and 1, just short of a first down, hit the 16-yard line. 1:35 to go. Here's Burke, stumbles at the line of scrimmage, but lunges forward for a first down. But there is a flag on the play. This one looks like it might be a holding against the Spartans, a legal procedure against Cayuga, and that's going to push them back to a 2nd and 6, I believe. The Spartans winding down the clock here, 1:28 to go before halftime. The Spartans trying to add to their 6-0 lead.
Spartans trying to get that first down right there, but penalties will kill the drive. Tom Namasak at least wants to get his team in field goal range, which I'd say would be, you know, no more, or probably about 20 yards at the 20-yard line for conference kicker Todd Freelove, maybe even a little farther out.
And a 2nd and a short 6 for Don Wright. And the Cayuga Spartans offense at the 22-yard line of Cortland. Wright drops back to pass, intended for Daryl Clark, but that one was out of reach of number 3, Daryl Clark, and it's going to be a 3rd and 6 for the Spartans.
3rd and 6 on the 22-yard line. Most likely will be in field goal range for Todd Freelove, but they only have 6 yards to go for a first down. The Spartan offense is very potent.
Big call
they're
here
working together. This is a very big 3rd down right here.
Does Coach Namasak go with Marco Burke here on a 3rd and 6, or does he try for another screen pass? They've been successful on the screen pass to Burke. I formation with Marcus Brooks and Marco Burke. Burke gets the handoff up the middle, but he's immediately met at the line of scrimmage by defensive lineman Sean Forthhover. But there's a flag on the play, and it's a holding against the Spartans. And it's going to bring up 4th down unless Cortland decides to take the penalty and push the Spartans out of field goal range. The holding call against Cayuga.
That would make it, what, 3rd and 16?
From the 32-yard line, and that would be pushing it for a field goal by Todd Freelove. And it looks like Cortland's going to take the penalty and give the Spartans another shot at 3rd and 16. And I don't know, Marcus, if that's a good idea with an explosive offense such as the Spartans.
I think they're taking a chance right here. No, it's only 6-0 here. They still have 2 more quarters to go, a whole half. And the Spartan offense has been kind of shaky with 58 seconds to go. We'll see here what Coach Tom Namasak decides to go against this Spartan defense. Red Dragon defense.
All right.
Twisted.
I formation. Wright drops back to pass. He's looking for Clark on the up and out. Turns his shoulder, and almost Daryl Clark, valiant effort. And it's going to be a 4th and 15 for the Spartans. We're going to take another look at this attempt from Don Wright to hook up with Daryl Clark.
Don Wright had all the time in the world to throw it, airs it out, puts a little too much air under it. Daryl Clark makes, like Chuck said, a valiant effort, just about 3 inches away from grabbing that, making it a first down or possibly definitely field goal range for Freelove. Now it's 4:20 on the 35-yard line.
4th and 20 on the 35, and the Spartans are going to go for this one. They think it's out of the range of Freelove. Wright drops back, the pass fires over in the middle, intended for Estes, the tight end. And he was blanketed by good coverage by the secondary of Cortland, and they're going to take over a 1st and 10 at their own 35 with 38 seconds to go in the first half.
Down right again with tremendous ton of time right there. Great blocking, but just great defense right there by Cortland. Making an incomplete pass, giving them 1st down, but they have to drive 65 yards for this touchdown, Chuck.
And it will be a 1st and 10 for the Cortland JV Red Dragons at their own 35-yard line with 38 seconds to go. They currently trail this one 6-0. The Spartans got that 6 on an interception returned by a touchdown by James Cecil, the cornerback, 1st-team all-conference cornerback, comes up big for the Spartans. Here's Fay, he drops back to pass, he's got to get rid of it, fires it out of bounds, just trying to get rid of that one. Dwayne Ravizzi, the strong safety for Cayuga, was the closest man to that one. And it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Dwayne Ravizzi has had a tremendous season, helping on the Spartan secondary. Quarterback, the freshman, drops back. Number 99 in, hosts the Spartan defenders, 99-61. Right there, takes a hit. Teed McCoy, number 64, also gets in on the action, in on the fun, jumping the quarterback.
2nd and 10 for Fay and the Red Dragons at their own 35-yard line. 31.2 ticks left in the 2nd quarter. The Spartan defense have been very impressive in the first half, and we've got a blown play flag. Fay had problems on the snap, but there's a flag on the play. This one might be I was thinking delay a game, but it's a false start against Cortland, and that's going to push him back 5 yards.
I was thinking maybe when he kneeled down that they just wanted to get this half under their belt and get this half over, get in the locker rooms and come out fresh in the 2nd half. But we're going to see right here what they come out and do on 2nd and 10.
Second and 10 at the 35 for the Red Dragons. 25 and counting to go before we head into halftime. The Spartans lead at 6-0. 4 receivers, single back is LaFale. And it looks like Fay just takes a knee here.
That's going to end the first half right here, I believe.
And Fay takes a knee to end the 2nd quarter. And at the halftime here on Friday night at Holland Stadium, we've got a good one through 2 at the half. The Cayuga Spartans lead the Cortland State JV Red Dragons 6-0 at the half. We'll be back with a halftime report and the 2nd half, so keep it here. Spartans lead at 6-0 at the half. Welcome back to Holland Stadium in Auburn, New York, and at the half, the Cayuga Community College Spartans lead the Cortland State JV Red Dragons 6-0. I'm Chuck Brame, and I'm joined by Marcus Aruza. In the first half, Marcus has been dominated by the defenses of both teams.
Yes, Chuck, the first half has just been, the story of the first half has been defense and penalties. Both teams playing tremendous defense here. See right here, the lone scorer scored. Number 7 for the Red Dragons drops back, throws the pass. Right there, picked off by number 35 of the Spartan defense, James Cecil. Brings in a big block by number 78, the big guy. A few other nice blocks. As he goes in the touchdown, goes into the end zone for the only touchdown of this game, untouched.
Indeed, the Spartans lead at 6-0, and the Spartans will get the ball here in the second half. Here's the kick by Dan McKinney, and it's going to be taken at the 16-yard line by Johnny Payne from Trumansburg, New York. He heads up to the 30 and brought down at the 31-yard line by Cortland defender number 34, linebacker P.J. Grabick, and that's where the Spartans will take over, 1st and 10.
Number 10, the return man, spun away a nice spin, form spin right there. Way as number 10, the return man, number 19, excuse me, Johnny Payne, brings it up to the 33-yard line.
And the Spartans will take over right there, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Don Wright and Daryl Clark are both in the game. They've both been banged up in the first half. Option right, pitches it to Seth Thomas, heads upfield and tackled after a gain of a couple. He was first met by number 24, Dan Bidwell, the strong safety from Appalachian. And it's going to be 2nd and about 8 for Cayuga.
Here you see Don Wright jogging back, running. Feeling like he's going to run it with himself. Take the pass, what he's doing right there. Bam! Option play to number 23. This is going to cut up the field for about 2 yards. That right there is kind of a surprise play brought on by Tom Namastack because we haven't seen that one by the Spartans offense in this game yet.
2nd and 8 for the Spartans at their own 35-yard line. Here's Marco Burke. He cuts upfield, breaks a tackle, and brought down at the 38-yard line. A gain of 3 by Marco Burke, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Spartans.
Marco Burke looks kind of shaken up, going off the field. He's been doing it all for the Spartans today, catching passes, running inside, running outside. Brings up a 3rd and 5 on the 38-yard line, their own 38-yard line.
Indeed, 3rd and 5 for the Spartans at their own 38. We're in the early goings of the 3rd quarter here at Holland Stadium. The Spartans lead at 6-0, and they've got a 3rd and 5 with 13:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. And here's the handoff to Seth Thomas. He lunges forward close to a 1st down, brought down by number 31, Richard Abella, and helped out by number 45, Ryan Calkins. And it's going to be 4th and 1, just short for Cayuga.
Obviously, I think the Spartans want to come out here. Offensively, I think the Spartans want to come out here in the second half, and both teams will reduce the number of turnovers they had from the first half, reduce the number of penalties. Spartans getting it done on the ground.
And the Spartans on their own 42-yard line elect to go for it. Here on a 4th and inches call, Burke not in here. Seth Thomas gets the handoff, and he's met in the backfield by number 48, the linebacker Seth Green from Jordan Elbridge, and there's a late flag coming in. And let's take a look at this replay on 4th and 1.
Let's see what that flag was. I think that was just a nice hit by number 48 as Seth Thomas spun away from Seth Green's tackle before he was tackled himself in the backfield. Chuck said that late flag.
And the foul is an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Red Dragons, but that's after the turnover, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Cortland Red Dragons, and the crowd for the Spartans have got to get up and cheer for the Spartans defense as they're going to try to hold on to this one with a 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. And so far, Marcus, in this situation, the Spartans defenses came up big.
Their defenses came up big, Chuck. What really has come down to here is the Spartans have to get pumped up. It starts at the sideline, when the sideline's cheering and all that for their teammates on the field. The teammates really answer the call and come up with the big plays. And the Spartan defense really has what it takes. And their offense has been potent as well at times, and they had to do it in the second half.
And
they want to go to the bowl. Sorry, Chuck. It's okay.
And with the unsportsmanlike conduct called after the end of the play, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Cortland at their own 49. And the officials meeting with the Red Dragons. And it looks like we have a timeout called here.
I just saw Marco Burke on the sideline stretching out a little bit. He looked to be a little shaken up after his last run there. But he's standing up fine on his own.
And after the officials' timeout, the Red Dragons offense comes to the line of scrimmage trailing 6-0, but with a golden opportunity. Good field position starting out at their own 49-yard line with a 1st and 10. 12:47 left here in the third quarter. The Spartans defense has came up big so far. They're going to have to again if they want to hold on to this 6-0 lead.
The Spartan defense, though, has really been answering the call, coming up with a couple interceptions. One return for about 60 yards, and one of them that we showed in the pregame by number 35, James Cecil, one of the big men here. And Dwayne Rizzi also had an interception. The one returned for a touchdown, which is the only touchdown of this game.
That was by Cecil in his 1st and 10. Quarterback fires over the middle. Seth Fay incomplete, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, tight end. Number 92, Shane Burke, the backup tight end, the sophomore, in and out of his hands, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Cortland.
With still a lot of time to play here in this game, I guess it would be kind of fitting if they ended up this season, one of their last games here, with only winning it with a touchdown on defense, because his defense has really been the key to this game, to this team.
2nd and 10 for Cortland at their 49-yard line. Twins formation. Fay drops back to pass, pump fakes, fires a sharp one at the 42 intended for number 10, Mark Frinder, but it's incomplete. Too low for Frinder to come up with it, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 after 2 incompletions for Cortland.
Spartan defense blitzing their linebackers, their defensive line getting the penetration they need. Number 94 from the Spartans, the big defensive tackle Charles Arnold, came in, made the penetration. That's really what disrupts the offense.
And it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Cortland at their own 49-yard line, 12:38 in the third quarter. There's a look at quarterback Sean Fay. He drops back to pass. He's got to get rid of it. Screen pass to LaFale, the tailback, and he's wrestled down at the line of scrimmage by Prentice Jones, rather. And this is going to be 4th and 10. It's going to be 4th and 10, and Cortland's going to be forced to punt here.
See the screen pass right there. Every defensive line getting penetration. Middle linebacker Prentice Jones gets in there and comes up right from behind and tackles Peterson LaFale, number 28, the freshman tailback, right at the line of scrimmage, stopping him for no gain and a 4th and 10.
And Justin Webb sets up at his 16-yard line for the kick. It's short. And this one's going to roll down the sidelines. Webb decides to take it at the 22 and wrestles forward to the 25-yard line where he's brought out of bounds by special teamer tailback number 25, Steve Sherwood. And that's where the Spartans will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Justin Webb taking his chances right there, picking up the punt that was bobbling on the ground. Probably got a yard or 2 or 3 from that before he was pushed out of bounds by about 4 Cortland defenders.
And the Spartans offense hasn't put up any points. The Spartans lead at 6-0 on an interception return for a touchdown by cornerback James Cecil. But here's Don Wright, drops back to pass. Screen pass set up to Seth Thomas. He catches it, cuts back up the middle, breaks the tackle. He's still going. Seth Thomas to the 40-yard line. Excellent second effort by the backup tailback, 1st and 10, Cayuga.
The way Seth Thomas has been playing today, I wouldn't call that kid a backup. Marco Burke, last home game, hasn't been getting as much playing time. Seth Thomas filling in for him, has done a tremendous job. Downright job back, throws the pass, breaks one tackle, breaks another one, breaks a 3rd one, a 4th one. Starts to break away right there before he's finally taken down. That's a gutsy effort right there by that young man.
The freshman, Seth Thomas, right, drops back to pass, and he's sacked by Cortland linebacker number 95, Sean Forthover, the defensive lineman, the sophomore from Valley Stream, comes up with a big sack on Don Wright here in 1st and 10.
He was also coming in there. You see Don Wright dropping back right there, number 95 with the sack. Number 94 is also there. Number 95 will get credit for the sack. That's great penetration by the defense.
A loss of 9 on the sack. 2nd and 19 for the Spartans. Wright drops back to pass again, fires down the sidelines for Clark, and it's almost intercepted by defensive back Anthony Buxbaum. Clark couldn't get to that one, in and out of the hands of the defensive back, and it's going to be 3rd and 19 for the Spartans.
Number 33, Anthony Buxbaum, the junior from Warwick, almost came up with that interception, making it 3rd and a long 19 for the Spartans, back on their own 31-yard line, only up 6-0.
3rd and 9 for the Spartans. Twin receivers to the near side of the screen. Daryl Clark and Justin Webb delayed a handoff to Seth Thomas. He cuts it up the middle and runs in to Cortland defenders after a gain of about 6 yards, in a conservative play here by the Spartans on 3rd and 19.
As we see here on the replay, the defense right there could look for pass with their Seth Thomas sneaks in, gets the handoff, brings it up for a couple yards. It really took Cortland by surprise, but it was not nearly enough for first down as he runs into number 60, the big guy, Jeremy Ferrugia, offensive lineman.
Speaking of offensive lineman, Nicholas Morris, who went out in the first half, is still not returned for the Spartans, and he's a big part of that offensive line. Here's the kick by Freelove, a good one, gets the Spartans roll, and it's going to be downed at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Cortland Red Dragons will take over, 1st and 10.
Number 49, Jamie Stevens, another kid I went to high school with, the long snapper for the Spartans. Crowded around, led a crowd of Spartans around the ball to make sure no Cortland defenders picked it up. See Stevens running out, leading the pack. Ball, it's a high one. It bobbles a couple times. Jamie Stevens along with Larry Jones, number 52, and number 7, Dwayne Rizzi, just crowd around that ball.
1st and 10 for Fay and the Red Dragons. He drops back the pass. Here comes Burian, and he sacks him. Chris Burian on the linebacker blitz. Big play by the Spartan linebacker, the sack of Fay, and Fay is slow to get up.
Chris Burian, he hit him like a Mack truck again. Spartan defenders are coming out and they're hitting hard.
Let's take a look at Burian on the sack.
Drops back, number 74, Steve Panetta. Here you see number 45 comes in untouched. The quarterback does not see him at all. And here you go, right there, bam. Perfect form tackle, just runs him over. Number 45, Chris Burian, gets credited for the sack.
A loss of 20 on the sack. 2nd and 20 for the Red Dragons. Lateral pitch to LaFale. He gets it, heads up the middle. Behind jersey, tackled by Dwayne Ravizzi, helped out by Jadlowski. And that play looked to be destined for trouble, but they got good yardage out of it. Let's take another look at the lateral pitch.
I think this play here is called a pop pass. Quarterback just drops back a little bit and just throws it right over the middle into the hands of the waiting tailback. Where it comes up, Spartans really didn't see that play. What happened at first for number 7, the free strong safety, Dwayne Rizzi.
And the shuffle pass to LaFale gets the Cortland Red Dragons 12 yards, so it's now 3rd and 8 at their own 29-yard line with 8:23 and counting. Here in the 3rd quarter, the Red Dragons trail the Spartans 6-0. Fay drops back the pass, fires over the middle on the slant intended to Mark Frinder, but that's too low for him to get it. He had to get rid of it, and it's going to be 4th and 8 for Cortland.
Bringing up 4th and 8. We're going to see right here what Cortland decides to do. Deep in their own territory on the 29-yard line.
Justin Webb lines up at the 38, bad snap. The punter's in trouble here. He heads up the sideline. Cecil meets him, and he's brought out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Hard hit by Travis Malnick, the linebacker, and the Spartans capitalize on a bad snap by the snapper to the punter, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans. The Cortland,
I believe they actually lost 2 yards on that.
At the Cortland 27-yard line.
You see right here, Prentice Jones comes in, number 11. Great running right there broke the first tackle before he was hit by 47, Travis Mulnickle.
Eric Klump, who's also a free safety, headed upfield, but Mulnickle got him out of bounds. And could this be the lift the Spartans offense needs at the 28-yard line? Wright rolls out. He's got to get rid of it. He decides to keep it. Heads upfield at the sideline. He's to the 20 and wrestled out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Good run by Don Wright. Ran away from defensive end Andy Henninger and gets a first down for Cayuga.
Though Marco Burke is the big man for the offense, Don Wright is the quarterback. He's the leader. He's the general of this team. He runs out, doesn't want to throw it on the run, doesn't see a receiver open. Number 59, the linebacker in pursuit, as Don Wright just turns it upfield, and he's going to get this first down as he doesn't even dive, just puts his shoulder down and just runs right into the defense.
Strong safety Dan Bidwell on the tackle, full right, and boy, his right took some hits tonight so far.
Yes, he has. He's a tough kid, though.
First and 10 for Wright and the Spartans offense on the 16-yard line of Cortland, trying to build on a 6-0 lead. Here's the pitch to Burke. He cuts it outside the sidelines and wrestled from behind. Good tackle by the linebacker, number 9, Robert Guzzo. A gain of a couple, and we're going to take one more look at that run by Don Wright.
Don Wright coming out, doesn't see anybody open. Here decides that he's got to run this one. He's hit by number 24, but he just keeps on going. And like Chuck has said, Don Wright has taken a lot of hits today, but he keeps on coming, like the Energizer battery.
Good analogy by my partner, Mr. Ruza. 2nd and 8. Hand off to Burke, cuts it up the middle, gets maybe a couple. Good pursuit by the defensive line. He was met by number 73, the defensive lineman. We're going to take a replay look at this one.
See Marco Burke taking the handoff, shuffling a little bit over to the left before he's taken down after about a yard or two.
And it looks like the Spartans are definitely missing offensive tackle number 79, Nicholas Morris, who left the game, I believe, in the second quarter. He looked like he had an injured knee or ankle. And it's 3rd and 8 for the Spartans on the 13 of Cortland. Fake pump right, drops back to pass. He's going for Clark in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans! Daryl Clark, the leading receiver for the Spartans, comes up big from right. Touchdown, Spartans. They go up 12-0.
Daryl Clark, the primary receiver in this potent offense. But like I said, when they get going and they gel, they're going to do damage right here. Pump fake in that little slant, wide open, 3 defenders around him, and that was just a perfect pass in that situation.
And where did this drive start? On the turnover on the special teams, the low punt, that was the lift the Spartans offense needed. And up 12-0, they're going to go for 2 to make it a 2-touchdown game. And here's Don Wright, drops back to pass, fires over the middle, and it's complete. The 2-point conversion good. Complete to Estes, the tight end. So the Spartans capitalize big and go up 14-0.
The big tight end, Scott Estes, came down, make it 14-0, as Chuck just said. I believe that right there is another analogy, old saying right here. You see Don Wright dropping back, making the 2-point conversion pass. Is how does it go? Kicking a dog when they're down, not letting them get up. That's exactly what the Spartans want to do. Only being up 12-0, they want to tack on the extra 2 points.
And the Spartans now lead it 14-0.
Going to see the replay one more time though.
In the 2-point conversion, Wright, good poise in the pocket, fires it over the middle to Estes for the 2-point conversion.
Tremendous poise right there. Nice tight spiral passer there by Don Wright. And he really has done a lot for this Spartan offense in his 2 years here at quarterback. He's had tremendous receivers last year, the Northeastern Football Conference Player of the Year in Sean Higgins. This year, Daryl Clark.
Marco Burke.
And Marco Burke this year's off.
Taking nothing away from Mr. Clark.
Nothing away from Mr. Clark.
And the Spartans now lead it 14-0 as Todd Freelove is set to kick off. We've got 5:55 left in the third quarter from Holland Stadium in Auburn, New York. And here's the kick by Freelove, bobbled by the return man, number 21, Dan Cable, but he heads up field still, and he cuts it to the outside, and he's brought down from behind at the 19-yard line by special teamer number 29, Gregory Mondesir. And we're going to take a replay of this boot by Freelove.
Nice kick by Freelove, and it was bobbled all the way back. Picked up by number 21, Dan Cable, bringing it out of the end zone. A couple of the Spartan defenders falling on their feet, but he trips as well, and that gives them not too good field position back on their own 19-yard line.
And we've got a new quarterback for the Cortland Red Dragons, number 12, Adam Barrett, the freshman. He hands it off to LaFair, I believe. And he's brought down after a short gain. It looked like on the tackle might have been Charles Hanold. The new quarterback, as I mentioned, number 12, Adam Barrett, the freshman, 6'2", 215 from Lake Grove.
That's a big quarterback right there. Number 28, tailback for Cortland, is going to have a lot of bumps and bruises after this game. They're using him a lot. The workhorse of this offense, obviously.
And a loss of 2 on the run by Peterson LaFail. So it's 2nd and 12 for the Red Dragons at their own 18-yard line. And here's the handoff to the tailback, number 14. He moves ahead, lunges forward for a couple. John
Qtrs.
Thanks, Mark, is on his first carry of the night, I believe, the free safety / tailback, and he gets a couple on this one.
Like the Deion Sanders right here for Cortland, playing dual positions. Gets a couple yards up the middle, about 3 yards on that carry. Just take a look at the scoreboard, 4 yards on the carry. 3rd and 9, bottom of the 20-yard line. Spartans lead this one 14-0, 4:25 as the clock is ticking down.
3rd and 9 for Barrett, the new QB, and Cortland. He drops back to pass. Another pitch shovel pass, but this one not good results like the last one. And Cortland is going to be forced to punt it here with 4:05 and counting in the third quarter, as the Spartans look like they're going to get good field position and try to add to their 14-0 lead.
Number 78, Steven Panetta, all-league first-team player, just ran over him like a plow. I talked to Steve earlier on today. He was really pumped about this game.
Panetta's last game as a Spartan. Here's the kick, and it's blocked. It's blocked and recovered. Touchdown for the Spartans. We're trying to get the number on that one. Number 47, Travis Molnickel on the block punt, and he recovers it for a touchdown. 2 big punts by Cortland make a difference here, adding up to 2 touchdowns. Unbelievable block by Molnickel.
Not the height of my emotions, that really right there made me happy. Travis Molnickel, I've known him almost my whole life, and he's a real excellent football player. See him with the block, runs in there, just picks it up in the end zone for the touchdown, giving the Spartans a 20-0 lead with 3:37 here left in the third quarter. And the Spartans are really pumped up, and it's showing they came out here in the second half. Looks like Freelove's gonna get this kick.
Todd Freelove
I told him to kick the first field goal for me, or extra point.
We'll see here what he does, trying to put the Spartans up 21-0, and here's the kick. And it's straight through the uprights, and just like that, the Spartans now lead the Cortland State Red Dragons 21-0 here at Holland Stadium with 3:37 remaining in the third quarter. Special teams proving to be a huge aspect in the game here in the third quarter.
A lot of people knock special teams. They're young kids that come up and don't make it as a starter, aren't really satisfied with special teams, but you're seeing right here what special teams could do and why it's so special, because it basically was putting the Spartans up 21-0 and gave them 16 quick points to kind of blow this game wide open here in the third period.
And the Spartans lead it 21-0 in the third quarter, and on the sidelines, it's a whole new attitude for the Spartans. They're starting to get pumped up here, and the crowd is on their feet as well.
Number 74, Elijah Tucker, the big offensive tackle.
And there's Mr. Ferrugia.
Look at some big guys in that offensive line.
Indeed. And the Spartans lead it 21-0, and Todd Freelove is set to kick it off for the Spartans. And here's the boot by Freelove, and this one's a rocket. It's going to be taken by Cable at the goal line, and he heads upfield to the 15. Zyrick Norris meets him at the 19-yard line. Good play by the special teamer, shoestring tackle, and Cortland will take over 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. We're going to take another look at this kick by Freelove.
Nice high kick by Todd Freelove. Comes,
good form.
Kicks the ball. Perfect textbook form right there. Cortland, number 21, takes the ball again because he's bringing it up. And right here is, you see right there, the shoestring tackle by number 14, Zyrick Norris. Number 13, Zyrick Norris.
And Sean Fay is back in at quarterback for Cortland, now trailing 21-0, and he drops back to pass on the rollout, looking downfield, fires over the middle for number 2, incomplete. Good coverage by Dwayne Ravizzi, and he was also helped out there by Adam McMahon, and it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Cortland.
The Spartan defense and secondary, the whole defense is playing good. Number 78, Steven Panetta, coming in getting great penetration right there. See the quarterback, number 7, back in the game. Takes a big hit by number 13, but he got the ball off, but it was incomplete.
2nd and 10 for Cortland. And Sean Fay, who's just checked back in at quarterback after getting a series off. Barrett unsuccessful. Fay drops back to pass on a rollout, intended for number 2 again. Incomplete. Coverage again by Dwayne Ravizzi, and he has had a good game here tonight for the Spartans.
You see the Cayuga kicker, Todd Freelove. He's having a good game, had a great season, played great all season long. Yes, Dwayne Ravizzi has really played his heart out today, and the Spartans really want to get to the bowl game, and whatever Tom Namastack said in the second or at halftime really pumped them up, because they're really playing the hardest out right now, and it shows on the sidelines, it shows on the field.
We've seen previously in the Spartans' regular season, especially I remember the game against Canton, the Spartans definitely came out a different team in the second half, and indeed they're doing it here in their season finale against Cortland. Fay drops back to pass on the rollout and just fires this one out of bounds. Had to get rid of that one, and it's going to be 4th and 10 for Cortland, and the Spartan defense is taking over here.
In Tom Namastack's 3rd year of coaching this young franchise of a team here, and it's only his 3rd year of existence. You see number 78, Steve Panetta, behind him. Number 64, big freaky Todd Tahid McCoy coming off the field. They're really a good second half team.
4th and 10 for Cortland. The punter, Eric Klump, back near his goal line. Here's the kick. He gets this one off. Webb's going to take it in midfield, trying to get Spartans good position. Cuts up field, gets to the 43-yard line. A late flag comes in, tackled by number 22, Billy Magner, the special teamer. And this late flag might be against the Spartans here.
Official discussing what went on.
Illegal hands to the face against Cayuga. We're going to take another look at this one to see if we can pick out the infraction. Here's Webb at midfield taking the catch.
Justin Webb takes the field, comes up after taking it, taken down by 3 or 4 Cortland defenders. I didn't really see that on that replay.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans with the infraction. Still good field position for the Spartans at their own 47-yard line. They lead this one 21-0. They put 15 points on the board here in the third quarter with 2:56 remaining. Here's Marcus Brooks, heads up the middle, and he's brought down by number 21, Dan Cable, and it looks like he had to use a face mask to bring down the second team conference fullback, Marcus Brooks.
That's really what it looks like. And with Marcus Brooks and the Marco Burke in that backfield, when you have those two in there, they really punish you here. You see right here in the replay. Downright nice fake right there. Looked like he even faked out Brooks. So took the handoff and went up.
And they're going to call the personal foul variety of the face mask. So this is going to be a 15-yard penalty. Marcus Brooks really exploded off the line of scrimmage, and Cable really didn't have much of a choice.
Those penalties really hurt. Brings them to the 29-yard line.
First and 10 for the Spartans at their own at the 29-yard line of Cortland. Hand off to Brooks again, but he's met immediately by defensive lineman.
Number 95, I believe that was.
Sean
95, Sean, the sophomore defensive line on the tackle. See number 24, the big fullback.
Marcus Brooks getting his reps in here in the third quarter. He might be the featured back in the Spartans offense next year to the freshman with the leaving of Marco Burke.
That's gonna. We'll see how that might really hurt this team. Marco Burke has really done a lot for the Spartan offense.
And here's the handoff. This one goes to Seth Thomas. He regains his momentum. Zach Cobb, pardon me, but he gets a good run into the 17-yard line. And Zach Cobb, the backup fullback, gets a first down for the close to a first down for the Spartans. And let's take another look at Cobb on the run.
See Zach Cobb just leaping over one defender, getting his footing back. Excuse me. Then I gets tackled again. The time to tackle goes down that time, but gets enough for the first down on his own 17-yard line with 1:40 counting down in the third quarter.
What?
Spartans up 21-0.
Quarter. First and 10 at the 17-yard line for Don Wright and the Spartans offense. What a third quarter for Cayuga. Delayed handoff to Seth Thomas. He cuts it up the middle and brought down into the 10-yard line, but there is an infraction on the play. The yellow came out immediately, and this one might be a hold against Cayuga.
It just might be with the Spartans running backs. If it's not Marco, it's Marcus. If it's not Marcus, it's Zach. And if it's not Zach, it's Seth. They got 4 tremendous running backs on this team right now. And they're all doing a heck of a job for the Spartans offense, along with Don Wright and wide receiver Darrell Clark.
And number 79, Nicholas Morris, is checked back into the game. He went out in the second quarter, and he is definitely going to help the Spartans offense. 3rd and 3, here's Wright on a rollout. He decides to keep a heads-up field, and he's got enough for the first down, but there is a flag on the play again. Don Wright on the keeper.
Don Wright showing some speed right there. There you see number 23 on your screen, Seth Thomas, one of the great running backs. Coming out right here behind number 23, Don Wright, speedy little guy, comes up, takes it. He takes hits like a linebacker or a big fullback would. He really takes those hits, and he gets right back up. The Spartans in the huddle right now. 17 seconds left.
And Wright, with the effort, gets the Spartans a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line with 7 seconds. The last play of the third quarter. Handoff up the middle. Touchdown Spartans. Seth Thomas on the carry. Zach Cobb, pardon me, the fullback, gets the touchdown. And with 4 seconds left in the third quarter, all of a sudden the Spartans are up 27-0.
That's 21 points in this quarter, in this period alone, in this third quarter. And I'm only scoring 6. You see, as he runs right in, number 79, celebrating the touchdown. That's their biggest offensive lineman. And Nicholas Morris is one great offensive tackle. He's done a lot. And
Mr. Freelove's been busy here in the third quarter.
Yes, he sure has.
And he's going to try to make it 28 with 4 ticks left on the clock in the third quarter, and the kick is good. And with that extra point, the Cayuga Spartans are looking like they deserve to go bowling. And they lead it 28-0 with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. We have an offsides called against Cortland, but that's going to be declined. So the Spartans lead it 28-0 on the run by Zach Cobb.
Spartans definitely going to be going to that bowl game here. Number 22 taking the ball. And didn't have a lot of yards to go, but that line just made a hole big enough to drive a tractor trailer through.
Excellent job by the offensive line on that play. And